right back up on the road here. How's it going, guys? Doing our second live 2 days in a row. Last night we was from the corn / soybean field trying to spray soybeans, and tonight we're in the cotton field. If you watched last night, you know, all the mechanical difficulties we've had the last week or so, and well, we finally got one of them fixed about noon time today. Got my emissions problem on my tractor fixed, and we're back running the hooded sprayer. Anyway, what we're putting out with this is a herbicide application. It'll be the last herbicide application on our cotton. Hopefully this will get the cotton by until it laps and fills the middles, and hopefully we won't have to worry about weeds too much more this year, except for, you know, occasional patch of pickweed or so. That's the hope anyway. Bailey, man, I can't do anything about the audio. I'm streaming live from my cell phone. I don't know what the data rate might not be good, so I mean this isn't meant to be the highest quality video, but this is what we got to work with today. And I can't hear it myself, so I don't know what it sounds like. But anyway, we're in one of the cotton fields. This isn't what I consider one of our good cotton fields. There's portions of it that look pretty good, but you know, this cotton looks like it should have about 3 to 3.5 weeks ago. You know, just short, skimpy in places, not growing real good. It's actually come on pretty good here the last 4 or 5 days, so hopefully it's going to start picking up steam, and you know, there's still a chance it may produce a crop yet. Probably not going to be a great crop. You know, I think we're just going to run out of growing season. It's just not going to be able to catch up enough. But I don't know, like I said last night, cotton usually surprises you, either good or bad. It usually does not do what you think it's going to do. So anyway, I'll use one of Dylan Joyce's favorite terms. It is what it is. You know, it's too late to do anything else this year, so what we got out here is just what we're going to ride with. Just hope if the cotton crop falls short of making a profit or making good yield, that some of our other crops will pick up the slack. And right now, this is going to be our last day in West Tennessee for about 9 days or so. We're leaving tomorrow to go to Florida. I'm ready to get the heck out of Dodge. I've been on this farm doing nothing but working pretty much every day since early March when we took our riding trip, and I'm ready to get the heck up out of here. JR asked what shade tint did I put on my tractors. The sides and back glass got 20%, turn around, and through the windshield we got 50% with 5% eyebrow at the top. And it definitely wasn't cheap to do all this glass. I think it cost about $700 per tractor, but it's some of the best money I've ever invested. Days like today, where it's mid-July and the sun sun's shining bright, you got all this glass area. I don't care how good the AC is, it just has a hard time keeping up. So rather than have to run the AC on full blast all day long, the tent really helps keep the cab a little bit cooler. Dylan, man, you got no idea. It's let's just say it's been a rough few days, man. We finally got one piece of equipment back working again, so right now the only thing we got working on our farm, I think, is this tractor and a sprayer. And it's been a rough few days. I was actually planning on leaving for Florida last night, and just between all the stuff breaking down, I wasn't able to be in the field all last weekend like I planned on, just working on stuff. And then we had a good amount of rain Sunday and Monday. So I mean, actually that rain was a blessing, because I couldn't have been in the field anyway because I didn't have anything working. And I don't care how wet it is, I'm never going to say no to a rain in July, because it will wind unless it comes a frog strangler, 3, 4, 5 inches and floods out, it's going to make you money. Cavalry Trucking asks, can I grow canola? I probably could. The biggest problem is I think the nearest market to deliver is like 75 to 100 miles away. I don't know anything about growing canola. I mean, I'm sure I can learn, but the market is the big thing. We're already hauling corn, soybeans, and wheat, 50 miles one way, and I really don't have any desire to go any farther than that to haul a crop. So, but actually, I'll see if I can find one. We've actually got some canola. Well, actually, we got the cousin to canola growing out here in my field. We got a little bit of rapeseed that we still haven't been able to kill. It's a really hard thing to kill. We use it as a cover crop. Yeah. There's one about to go by right there. That's some rapeseed that we didn't, that we hadn't been able to wipe out yet. Yeah, JR, just on the window tint thing, I'd highly recommend you doing it. I don't think you'll regret it. Just make sure you can find someone that's real good at it. Don't get somebody's brother-in-law who says he's tinted 1 or 2 vehicles and he's real good at it, because it's not an easy job, especially on newer tractors with all the curved glass. You got to shrink the tint to make it fit the contours, and that is not easy to do. I watched the guys do ours, and man, that's not an easy job to do. Plus, the cleanliness is extremely important, and when you're dealing with tractor cabs, generally clean is not a word you use to describe them. Yeah, Dylan, man, I was just trying to get to the back of the field to prevent Zach from having to drive, 5 minutes up there. We were getting close to dark. I was going to get one more load sprayed out before dark, and just trying to save a little time. And as usual, I wasn't thinking with my entire head and wound up costing us more work. Chief, there ain't nothing wrong with green tractors. I mean, they make some good ones. The only problem I think there is with them is they think they're worth more than what they really are, and also the parts that go along with them. But Dylan Joyce gets along just fine with them and likes them just fine. There ain't nothing wrong with them. JR asked, did we ever have any tobacco? That's what my grandpa used to grow. No, we have never grown tobacco. I do have some experience with the harvesting process, though. When I was in college, one of my fraternity brothers grew an acre of tobacco every year, and every year he'd recruit some of us to come help him, and he'd say, I'll buy you all the beer you want and all the pizza you want. Just come out here and help me cut and stake this tobacco. I was a freshman. He was an upperclassman. Of course, I was trying to get the upperclassmen. I was trying to get in the good graces of the upperclassmen, so I volunteered to go help. I was, 19 years old. I won't say it about ruined me. A whole day Saturday of cutting and staking tobacco. My hands were solid green. That stuff squirted up in my eye. Hey, it was a miserable job. Right then and there, I said, never again. But I have talked with some farmers who are row crop farmers and also grow tobacco, and like they grow corn, and they say they grow corn for the show and grow tobacco for the dough, and I believe it. That ain't something I want to do. Eric, well, no, we're not ready for harvest. I mean, we only got a couple things running right now, and this is stuff that it takes to produce a crop. We ain't, we got to get our combine in the shop. We got that radiator problem. Just got a couple other odds and ends on tuning it. We've during wheat we wore a hole in the bottom of the grain tank. We need to put a liner in the bottom of the grain tank. So we got some things to do to the combine. My cotton picker, I don't think we got to do much to the cotton picker. Not really any repairs. We got to go through and gauge all the bars. Might find a few spindles we got to change. All the other stuff is ready to go. But now what I'm actually ready for, I'm ready for an August where it's just not constant go, which it has been for the last 2 months. I don't know where June and July have gone, but normally June is, terribly busy for us, but it slows down just a little bit in July, and it hadn't happened this year. We've had so much going on, and we've had an abnormal number of difficulties we've had to work through. Bailey, no, I'm not familiar with produce farming. We've grown a little bit of a garden, and that's not something I'm good at. So no, I don't know much about produce farming. Dylan asked if I got any idea what's wrong with the water truck. Yes and no. About a month ago, it started missing just a little bit, but we needed the water truck almost every single day. I'm like, it's still running. We're gonna keep spraying. And then it gradually started getting a little worse until last week. It got to where I almost didn't make it back to the shop. Just lost all power. It sounded like it just wasn't getting any fuel or whatever. And it's got a Caterpillar C9 motor in it. Of course, the only people that can hook a diagnostic computer up to a Caterpillar engine is Caterpillar itself. And at that point, I knew there was no way I could get it over the Caterpillar by driving it, because I was lucky to make it back to the shop. The place in Jackson, the Caterpillar dealer, they don't do service calls. I knew a towing job was going to be pretty expensive. So we just started playing around with it in the shop. One of my farming neighbors had a Mexican guy that was real good with trucks, so I recommended him. He come by, spent a lot of Friday night, Saturday night, and then Monday afternoon and evening working on it. And we were just shooting blind on trying to diagnose what's wrong, because we couldn't hook it to the computer. We couldn't get any kind of readings to see what was going on with it. I thought we changed the fuel filters first. That didn't do anything. And then I thought, it started for fuel. I bet the fuel transfer pump's going out. So had one overnighted from Memphis up to Jackson. We got it and started taking it off. And the way that engine is, or the way that truck is designed, it's a Sterling truck. About 2/3 of the engine is recessed back into the cab. It's just super tight, can't get to anything. And there's 4 4-inch long bolts holding the fuel transfer pump on, and one of them, I can't even touch the head with the tip of my finger. So called that Mexican guy. He come out and help. He's got smaller hands, a lot more flexible than me. we were able to get it off, and then in the process of taking it off, those 4 bolts also held a bigger pump on. I thought it was an oil cooler. I didn't look it up on YouTube like I should have. Turns out it was a Huey pump. That truck has a Huey system on it. So that Saturday I started doing some reading on Huey pumps and the symptoms of a Huey pump going bad. And the Huey pump is basically the injection pump for the truck. The symptoms of the Huey pump going bad really matched a lot of what I was saying. So like, I'll just go ahead and replace that. They had another one they had one of those in Memphis. We drove down Monday to get it. $1,500, and I put it on, and we got the truck actually back running again, but it would idle all day long. But when you started putting it under load, we could tell that it wasn't getting enough fuel. It got better, but it wasn't fixed. So we eliminated those 2 problems. So then we started replacing fuel lines, going from the pump to the tank. That didn't make any difference. So finally I threw up my hands. I'm like, we can replace everything on this engine, but we're just spending money on parts that we don't know that's bad. We got it good enough to where we could limp it over to Caterpillar in Jackson. So that's what we did yesterday. They said they didn't have a truck technician there, but they could hook it up to the computer. I hooked up the computer, and it looked like the injectors were going bad. So we just tried running a line straight from the fuel transfer pump and dropping it down into the fuel tank, and that seemed to improve the situation. Did some more checking, and the check valve on the back of the head on the return line on the fuel, it was bad, so we replaced it. And then all of a sudden we had fuel pressure. The truck run good, but we still had the hose stuck in the tank. So we replaced the filter base. We replaced the water separator filter base on there. We got all brand new lines. Hooked it back to fuel transfer pump. No fuel pressure. It run and it idle, but it would choke out when you put it under load. So things sucking air somewhere, but we replaced like 97% of the stuff up under there. Maybe the drop tube that goes inside the fuel tank, aluminum, maybe it's got a crack in it sucking air. I don't know. I mean, we reached the limit of my diagnostic skills. So it's over at Caterpillar. Long story short, it's over at Caterpillar now. They don't have a truck technician, but they said they'll try and get a guy to work on it here and there. It's not going to be a high priority for them. So, like, well, we fixing to leave. We'll go on vacation for 9-10 days. You think you can fit it in sometime at that point? Like, yeah, we can probably do that. So the only other option will be to get it to the Cat dealership in Camden or downtown Memphis by the airport. I ain't driving that thing downtown Memphis. Well, I couldn't. It doesn't run good enough to get it down there anyway. I'd have to have it towed. You probably, for a truck that size, you're probably looking at least $1,000 towing bill, maybe more than that. So that's where we're at on the water truck. I apologize if I'm missing any questions. Hard to do this with a screen bouncing in front of you. Oh, look at Kelly whining and crying about the truck I got her to drive. Got her a nice Peterbilt, long nose, got a custom wood steering wheel, and she's complaining about that. Yeah, Dylan, that's right, man. It's a truck and it's driving. At this point, that's really all that matters. All right, y'all see ahead of me? That's what some of our cotton looks like. It looks plumb pitiful. And of course, it's out by the road. No, that wouldn't happen on the other end of the field. It's got to happen right on the road, right on this busy road for everybody to see. I don't know why a lot of my problems can't happen off back behind the woods somewhere. All right, let me get started on these roads. I'll give you some little bit better views of what's going on. See, more sucky cotton. This is a real wet area of the field. All the water drains from up there. down here to the pipe. Oh, we got another problem that developed earlier today, but my attitude is I just don't care. Well, I'll show it to you. Something about that don't look right. But you know what? Right now, I don't care if it falls off. If it stays in the field, I'll get it. I'll get it when I come back from vacation. If it happens to last the rest of this field, we'll be heading right close to the shop. Then I'll pull down to the shop and give it a quick weld. Right now, I'm not going to take the time to go get my service truck that's got the welder on it, or drive this thing to the shop, weld it, and then drive back out here again. So it's either going to have to hang on for dear life or fall off. Right now, I don't care. I'm spraying until it gets dark. We hadn't done any spraying since Saturday, or we hadn't done any spraying since Sunday with this thing. And even then, Saturday and Sunday, we didn't get much spraying done because I was having to work on the truck a lot. And Justin, man, I've never owned anything that has had a Cummins engine. I take that back. My 1999 Case IH 2366 Combine had a Cummins engine. And yeah, I love that engine. You cannot beat a Cummins. Amen, Dylan, amen. Train Williams asks, what was the final tally on my wheat? I figured it up 2 nights ago because every night for the last week and a half I've been, once it gets dark, we can't do anything in the shop or in the fields. I've been in the office till like between 10 o'clock and midnight getting all of our records straight, all of our inputs straight, all of the costs straight, my landlord's bill straight, and then getting the exact figures on the wheat straight. We finally got everything hauled to Bungie. We got our settlement sheets in. So anyway, the exact figures on my wheat it's a little over 46,000 bushels total, but our final average was 98.74 bushels per acre overall on about 470 acres. So that's about 10% better than my previous record yield. I mean, it was a wheat crop of my dreams, and it might be the last time I ever see a wheat crop like that, but it was absolutely fantastic. And the price too, I mean, we had a lot better price this year than we've had in quite a few years. Our average price after I paid the electric bill for the grain bins and a little bit of custom trucking that I have done, we came in with an average price of $5.87 a bushel, which was really good. I think last year we were down a little below $5 a bushel on what we received on our wheat crop. So we done great on wheat. And in the double crop soybeans we got behind the wheat just looked absolutely fantastic. We burned them real good with a herbicide with Prefix a week and a half ago or so, but with the rain we got, with the heat that we got, those soybeans started growing, and man, they're looking fantastic. I mean, we keep getting the rains, we could easily have some 50-55 bushel double crop soybeans, and you add that to a 100 bushel wheat crop, my pocket's going to be heavy going to the bank this fall. What else we got? Alex, you must be talking, are you talking about hard red winter wheat or hard red spring wheat? I know y'all get a better price per bushel than we get for soft red winter wheat. Of course, y'all, I guess most of y'all don't typically yield as high as what we do with soft red winter wheat too. Yeah, I'm always kind of jealous when I look at those. I think it's Minneapolis futures, wheat futures. Like, man, if we get that for our wheat, I don't know if I grow anything else. Justin, you got a Sterling truck too. That's what our water truck is a Sterling truck. I'm guessing you probably either got a C7 or a C9 like what we do. Like I say, I'm surprised by this cotton crop. I'm not happy with it. It's not where we want to be. Kelly actually found the first bloom on our farm today. She actually found a pink one, which means that it bloomed either yesterday or the day before. So today's July 21st. Normal rule of thumb is what we like to see a bloom by the 4th of July. Most years we don't, but generally if we can start seeing a bloom by July 10th, then we'll be okay. I don't remember ever seeing our first bloom this late in the growing season, and according to the University of Tennessee, and based upon what the average date is of our first frost, typically anything that blooms after August 15th really only has about a 50% chance of getting enough heat units in order to mature it out enough to harvest. So I mean, we've got 3 weeks to set our crop, and cotton only grows at a certain rate. It will add a new node and square and bloom one every 3 days, and then as you go out on the branches between your first position and second position square, it generally takes about 5 days for it to bloom. So I mean, you do the math. I mean, we got say we got 24 days before our last effective bloom date, and if all of our cotton was blooming right now, we would only be able to harvest what's going to sit about 8 nodes high on the plant. Anything above that most likely is not going to mature out and open up enough to where we can harvest it. So if it takes 5 days in between each position, typically each branch sets at least 2. If growing conditions good, it would set 3 positions on a branch. You know, only 3 branches, only 3 nodes up would be able to set out the farthest position and thus be able to harvest it. So, like I said, cotton has surprised me before, both good and bad. So, nothing we can do, just keep the bugs out of it, keep the weeds out of it, hope and pray that a miracle happens. So Darren and Justin, y'all run Sterling trucks. I mean, I know where we get parts for the engine. Where do we get parts for the other parts of the truck? I know a lot of the stuff is generic, that you can probably find at most any truck dealership. But I mean, there's got to be some stuff that's specific to Sterling. Where do y'all get parts? Where do y'all get those parts at? Because Sterling was produced by Ford, and that part of their business is no longer in business. I'm sure they're not making parts. So that's just it's a problem we haven't run into yet, but I'm kind of worried about it. Probably, if I had to guess, probably 75 to 85% of the truck is probably something common that you can get at most any truck dealership. But I know there was a good chance we're going to run into some specialty thing that we're not going to be able to fix. Our previous water truck was a Ford. It was a 1976 Ford F700 truck. It used to be an old Coca-Cola truck, and my dad bought it, took the Coke bed off, and put a flatbed on there, and then we mounted 2 1,000-gallon water tanks on it. And the last several years that I run it, you know, being a 1976 model, you go to the Ford dealership and they say, well, we don't even have any books that go back to 1976. So even if we did have the part, we can look it up and tell you what part you need. So the only chance I had of repairing that truck was to go by the junkyard and hope I could find what I need out there in the weeds somewhere. And we got lucky a few times that way, but I knew that there was going to come a point in time that my luck was going to run out, so we went ahead and upgraded to this truck. And man, I wish I'd done it a lot sooner than what we had. Well, y'all, I don't know if Kelly's still watching or not, but I need y'all's help with something. What we've been through here lately, I'm going to get the heck out of Dodge. I'm actually going to leave for Florida tonight. Kelly is refusing to leave to Florida tonight. She says she can't handle it, even though I've offered to do all the driving and everything. So I got to use y'all's help in persuading her to leave tonight. Because I would much rather start out driving tonight, especially down I-40, and not having to fight that traffic. I'd like to get a lot of the driving out of the way and not with no traffic. Plus, we'll get down there sooner. It'll make me happier. So, Jim, you're saying there's still Sterling dealers around? That surprises me. So the suspension is the same thing as a Freightliner? Okay, that's good to know. I knew the airbags and stuff would probably be something common. Trent asks, what am I spraying between the rows? We are spraying Liberty and Diuron. Liberty is, supposed to kill most everything out there, especially any smaller pigweeds we have. It's not going to kill the bigger ones. And then the Diuron is a really good residual herbicide. It also has some post-emergence activity too, and hopefully it'll hold the weeds out in the cotton crop until it has a chance to canopy. We're spraying 20 gallons an acre. We're spraying up under the hoods, and then we have post-direct nozzles coming out from underneath the hoods, spraying up under the rows, so we're able to get complete coverage on most everything. Alright guys, we got about enough time so I get back down to the other end, and I'm going to have to let you go and go fill up. We're only getting across about 10 acres on this 200 gallon tank here, putting out 20 gallons an acre. Madison, Alabama, near Huntsville. Well, I have driven farther than that for parts, so I appreciate that knowledge. Greensboro, North Carolina, yeah, that's a little far for me to drive. Yeah, Kelly, when have I ever not helped do what needs to be done? Yeah, so don't give me that excuse. It was my idea. It's not like I'm going to expect you to do all the work to do for it. I told you it's going to take me about an hour and a half to finish writing all the checks and the settlement sheets for my landlords, and then I got to take a quick shower, throw my stuff in the bag, and I will be more than happy to do whatever it is you want me to do so we can get the heck out of Dodge tonight. And I'm working till probably 9 or 10ish to get everything done I need to get done. My wheel's still hanging on back there. It's mighty crooked, but it's still hanging on. Maybe it'll finish this field, and I won't have to come back out here and hunt it down. I was gonna say, well, we're here at the other end. I still got a little bit left in my tank. We'll give you a quick view around for the guys that joined us and hadn't seen what we're doing. Anyway, this is our hooded sprayer. Y'all watch my videos from back this spring, you're familiar with it because this is what we use to run the burn down strips in our cover crops. And this time we're utilizing the other tips to spray underneath the hoods. Kill whatever is out here. There's another poor area of the field, as you can see. Any last questions? We got just a little bit of solution left. See you, Dylan. Appreciate you watching, man. Hope everything going well for y'all. If you can look over here in this part of the field, got some really strong cotton. It's lapping the mills. It looks fantastic. And then you got this, which looks a lot better than it did a week or so ago, but not crazy about it. Just seems like the problems that we've got this year on our cotton are the Delta Pine varieties. The problem is yields have gotten so high that the cotton seed itself has suffered. It's gotten a lot smaller and it just doesn't have the energy that it used to. And with the conditions that the cotton went through this year, it just used up all of its energy, used up all of its vigor, just trying to come up out of the ground, dealing with the slug pressure, and then dealing with cool, wet conditions. It just used up all of its energy, and it seems like whenever you see a crop do that, it just can't recover that year. It'll still produce something, but it'll never catch up and produce what it was capable of if it had come up and grown in good conditions early. And our phytogen seed, it's got a little bit bigger seed, but anyway, the early season vigor seems to be a whole lot stronger on it than the Delta Pine, and our phytogen cotton looks great. It's still behind too. But as far as actually growing and looking good, it looks a whole lot better than what our Delta Pine does. Although, I did plant more Delta Pine this year than phytogen because with the varieties that we have available, Delta Pine yields are typically stronger, a little bit stronger than phytogen. So we planted more Delta Pine than phytogen, unfortunately. Hey Greg, how's it going? Okay, G, I'd appreciate that. Just leave a comment on a video somewhere when you find out that information. I'd appreciate it. Alex, you say it's been really dry there. Where exactly are you located at? Train asks, how am I liking that R438 so far? We've got a lot of equipment that we really like, but that John Deere R-Series sprayer has been the most perfectly designed piece of equipment that we've ever had the pleasure of running. I mean, literally, there's only like 2 things that I'm not crazy about, and one of them is the fact that I can't see the front wheels. We run over more crop, but that's the way sprayers are being designed now. Pretty much all sprayers are being designed that way. But I think the John Deere engineers thought of just about everything when they designed it. I mean, every feature it's got just works well. It's the booms on the sprayer are absolutely fantastic. I mean, they are fantastic with the boom track system and that Gen 4 monitor. It's almost impossible to even make the booms hit the ground when it's an automatic. But, I mean, I haven't run it near as much as Zach has, but when I have run it, I mean, I've absolutely loved it. There's really 2 things that we own that put a smile on my face every time I get in it. One of them is a sprayer. The other one is my combine, because I think it's designed. It maybe probably has a few more flaws than the R-Series sprayer, but it's so extremely well designed. Okay, I'm out. Alright guys, I gotta go fill up. I enjoyed spending this time with you. I know we got a video scheduled to be released tomorrow. That's all that I've got edited right now. We got more filmed, but we've been so busy here lately. I literally have not had a time to edit anything. And I don't know when, we're going on vacation. I don't know when I'll be able to get any more edited. So I know we'll be back in August for sure with some videos. So when you see a week or possibly even 2 weeks go by without any new content from us, don't fear. We just taking a little bit of break, getting a little bit of R&R. We will be back, and hopefully the content we're going to have this fall is going to be really good. And then of course I announced the new series, Ask the Farmer. Announced it I think last week. Any questions y'all have about us personally, our farm, why we do what we do, or even just agricultural in general. It could be anything having to do with the business of agriculture, or maybe something you see in your neck of the woods. You want to know maybe why people are doing things a certain way in your neck of the woods. Just ask the question and make sure you put the tag in that is for the Ask the Farmer series, and I'll be sure to read your question and mention your name. If you don't do that, there's a chance I may just type out an answer there without meaning to. So we'll be doing that a lot of August. We're not going to be doing a lot of filming of our activities, mainly because there's stuff going on, a lot of different stuff every day, but it's really not the kind of stuff that garners a lot of interest and a whole lot of views, and really not financially feasible for us to take the time to produce a video if it's only going to get a couple thousand views. We just don't make very much money off stuff like that. So anyway, I'm going to get filled up. Appreciate y'all watching, and we'll be back again soon.